Tamar. I'm a 51-year-old mom and a wife. When I was diagnosed in 2007 with primary progressive multiple sclerosis, our kids were 3 and 5 years old. My disease, because it is in the 5% of multiple sclerosis, normal 95% have primary or relapsing remitting. You have a chance for the body to go into exacerbations, for the body to heal itself. With primary progressive, we are the 5% that progress very rapidly at a downhill slide, and there are no medications currently on the market for primary progressive to slow the progression of this disease. The only answers my doctor had for me when we were diagnosed, and I say we because, as Brian said, it affects a family. It doesn't just affect me as an individual. First thing he asked was if we had any long-term care insurance, to prepare for the worst, to enjoy my time with my kids now, that in 3 years, pretty much I would be confined to a wheelchair, and to make those arrangements. The only thing he could do for me palliatively, because of the extreme amount of pain I was in, the difficulty I had walking, the brain fog, the sleep deprivation, just simply because you could not hold your head up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon if you tried. It didn't matter how many Red Bulls, soda, or whatever you had, forget it, it wasn't happening. The fatigue was debilitating. I would tell my friends it's about like if you were unlucky enough to get the flu, your worst day of the flu, how you felt, that's how I felt every day. I was to the point where I couldn't take care of our kids. It's horrifying. As a mother, it is absolutely a nightmare. The doctors basically tried any type of anti-inflammatory, massive quantities of steroids, other approaches that didn't help. So in 2010, I detoxed off everything. I said, I can't live like this. I was a fighter. I worked for numerous charities. I ran my own business. And I couldn't do those things anymore, and I wasn't about to give up. So we detoxed. We looked at nutrition. I read every study there was on MS, treatment, and stem cells. I was willing to go out of the country. My husband wasn't. He didn't trust the medical care. He trusted the medical care here. Thank goodness we found a stem cell company on the West Coast that was able to take on our case. They, exactly like Brian said, they never said there would be a cure. Our only hope that it would alleviate symptoms, and I was fine with that. We came back within 24 hours. I walked off the plane. I walked into my kids on my feet. I walked down the hall. Within 3 weeks, I was fixing their dinner. I was helping with homework. I could do all those things. Within 3 months, I was back to driving them to school every day and picking them up at school. We were about to have what was a normal family life. Now granted, I wasn't running around like a lot of people would be. I was going at my own pace, and that was fine. I'm fine to go with my own pace now. The only reason I'm in a transport chair today is simply because I had a kidney stone. I'm out of the hospital 10 days. I had to have surgery, and my doctor advised, you're gonna make this trip, you better make it as easy as possible, and you don't need to throw your MS back into a flare. And the kidney stone was because of an FDA-approved medication that was to help with my speed of walking, Empira. And we found that that was actually what caused my kidney stone and caused 10 days in the hospital. It may work for some people, it doesn't work for me. My stem cells work for me. I have had 2 stem cell treatments in 2010 and 2013. I want to read from you my MRI report. This is 3 months after I had stem cells. And some people can say, it's placebo effect. When you're on your feet, you're cooking dinner, and you haven't done that in a year, it's not a placebo effect. This is not a placebo effect. To my neurologist, this was proof that something was going on in my body that was a good thing. Not that I was healed, but it was a good thing. To read through the basics, distribution areas of demyelization is grossly stable as compared to the 2 prior studies. There are no definitive new active or enhancing MS plaques. The plaques or the demyelinization in my brain, my spinal cord, my C2, C3, and T6, T7. I have no active lesions. All the activity in my brain as far as demyelinization is gone. As you can see where it says it's grossly stable. I'll take that any day. I will take being on my feet standing in front of you. I'm happy to be where I'm at. If you give me the capability and the power to use my own stem cells to regenerate and help my body heal, the body has a natural ability to heal itself.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to wrap it up. I know the
Thank you.
timer
I
wasn't
appreciate
working.
it.